Seka Zambia is a social enterprise. So our roots are from Chivodia. That's where we come from. And it's been 10 years that we've been working in Chivodia and different communities. So Seka Zambia has 3 areas where we call the performance company, the social sectors, and the hub. So we are a social enterprise, engaging mostly with young people, empowering young people to make positive life choices. Today we want to talk about mostly about the performance company because of Afronauts in that sense. Because of Afronauts in that sense. So we started Afronauts in 2019. We just done a tour in the UK, and Adam and I were talking about what's next, what should we do next. And so when I came back here in Zambia, we knew about the Afronauts, but I think it became prominent mostly the last 10 years or so when young people started talking and commenting about it. And I thought it really much aligned with what Seka Zambia is all about, daring young people to dream, empowering young people to make positive life choices. And when I was watching the documentary, and then I was like, this is really an inspiring story. So I then went back to Adam. I said, Adam, I think I found the story that we should do. And this is the documentary. And so we sat down and we were really inspired. In 2019, we had gone to the UK. All of us stayed in Adam's house. And then this time around I was invited and I was alone in this massive bed in London. And we stayed up, we were working on the script. But then 2020 COVID came and we couldn't do anything. But we continued working on the script. In Zambia, we put some of the young people to go in the camps. We started working on the shows. We wanted to go in 2022, we couldn't manage. 2023, we did a performance here at Music Club. It's a conventional theater space, and we were amazed by the turn-up of people because we had over 1,200 that came to support the Afronauts, and we thought, okay, maybe we've found something, a story that resonates with the people. And so this time around, it feels like the stars are aligning because for a long time we've been wanting to go to Edinburgh because every time we've never been to places and I've said, we're thinking about Seka Zambia sustainability because we are a social enterprise and mostly we depend on grant funding. But if we think about sustainability for us, we feel if we invest in the performance company, then we'll be able to generate income from there, would create exposure, and we'll be performing on some of the largest scale theaters across the world. So this is really a good opportunity for us because it just ticks all the objectives of Seka Zambia, creating pathways for young people, and promoting the arts and culture in Zambia, or should I say the Zambia Kuchalo. So I'm really grateful for everybody that could come to witness this. It's not me alone that is going to be talking. I'm going to invite now Adam to talk about where we'll be going in the UK. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Adam McGuigan, and I am the Artistic Director of Wake the Beast, but also a co-founder of Bare Feet Theatre, where I was the Artistic Director for 10 years, from 2006 to 2016. I just want to be here. Okay. I just want to say at the beginning, so the Afronauts project started, as Giv said, after we had a tour in 2019, and that was with Bare Feet Theatre, with Wake the Beast and Circa Zambia. And Bare Feet Theatre were one of the original partners in the establishment of Afronauts, and we just want to recognise their creative input into the project and also their institutional support for the early days of the project. So Gift said about the genesis of Afronauts. And I think it's fair to say that it's been a long time coming. We were almost ready to go to the Edinburgh Fringe in 2020, and then of course COVID happened, and it's now taken us 6 years to get ourselves match ready to be at the Edinburgh Festival. And it is no mean feat. I'm telling you, it's taken us a long time. It's a huge undertaking, it's a huge budget, and I just really want to recognise the fact that we've had a lot of support along the way, and we're extremely grateful to everybody who's in this room for being part of that journey. Gift has talked a little bit about Edinburgh, and High Commissioner, I think you'll be able to speak a little bit about you'll be able to speak a little bit more about Edinburgh and the impact that Edinburgh has. Edinburgh Festival is the largest arts festival on planet Earth. It is the biggest marketplace for arts and creativity on this planet. 2.6 million people, 2.6 million tickets are bought every year at the Edinburgh Festival, and it's the whole month of August. So we're so excited that we think we are the first Zambian festival. This is massive. It's a huge achievement that we are even setting ourselves this task of getting 10 people to be at this festival for the whole month. It really mirrors the story in Colosso of dreaming, of achieving, and of having an aspiration. It is massive, and we're so proud that our companies are the ones that are able to take this first step, and we really want to be a trailblazer for other Zambian companies as well. We want to be the first, but we want to make sure that we're not the last, that we set the pathway for other arts and creative companies that can then follow our lead. We want to make it a little bit easier, and we want you to help us to help lead the way so that other Zambian companies can also follow suit. It's not been easy as well. Unbelievably, we talked about 2020 with COVID, but as we were just about to announce for our plans for 2026, we found out that there's a British theatre that are also doing a production called The Afronauts, which tells the same story that we're telling. So we've really had our challenges along the way. We've been working with this theatre to both amplify both productions, but it's not been an easy road, let me tell you that for sure. But I just want to share very quickly where we're going to. We've talked about Edinburgh, the biggest arts festival in the world, but also we're performing at a multitude of other venues. When we arrive, we're performing at Latitude Festival, which is in Suffolk. Now this festival welcomes 45,000 people to come to the festival over a couple of days. That's a massive exposure for us as well. When we come back to London, we're performing at the Victoria and Albert Museum, again a really prominent cultural institution. We're then moving on to Wilderness Festival in Oxfordshire, which welcomes about 30,000 people through its doors over the weekend. Then we have our 1 month in Edinburgh, where we're going to be there for the whole month of August. When we finish with Edinburgh, we're going to Liverpool, and in Liverpool we're performing at the Liverpool Playhouse, one of the most prominent theatres in the northwest of England. From Liverpool we move to Derry in the north of Ireland, and then from Derry we're finishing our tour at the Dublin Fringe Festival. Again, a massive achievement which welcomes about 30,000 people through the doors throughout the duration of this festival. The last thing I suppose I want to say is we're really excited by the opportunity of telling this story on an international stage, but we're urging you to help us to make it a success. How you can do that is by helping to spread the word. We need people in Edinburgh to buy tickets. We need to spread the information about where we're going to be. But also, as Charlotte's going to speak about a little bit later, we want to make sure that our version of Afronauts is the first version that's told. It's a true Zambian version of the story, and we need a last push to help us on our way to make sure that we can meet our budget and meet our targets so that we bring the 10 artists from Zambia over to the UK to really tell this story in our own words at this time. So I just want to say thank you so much for being here. I'm going to pass you back to Gift. Thank you very much.
So I think it just gives us a lot of thoughts, like things to think about, and what Mr. Nkoloso wanted. So now I'm going to invite Ngosa who is also part of the Afronauts, who's going to talk a little bit about what she's doing.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Wasa Chungu, and I have been commissioned by Circus Zambia to document the story of the Afronauts, both the history and their journey to Edinburgh Fringe and beyond. I'm truly honored to be able to do this. When they approached me last year in April or May, they were telling me about the fact that they were going to Edinburgh Fringe. I was so impressed because, you know, as a child, I was at school in England, and one of the big things that we would talk about, because I was into acting, was if one of us could make it to Edinburgh Fringe, because it was such a big festival and it was such a launching pad. So the fact that Circus Zambia had been able to achieve this, I knew that it was a very big thing. And when I sat through their first read-through, I was like, oh my goodness, this is going to be really something truly special. And so we set upon trying to find the funding to be able to ensure that we were able to document this. And we reached out to corporates specifically, telling them that this is going to be a 2 to 3 year journey, and listing out all, you know, the financials, so that people will know that this is a very big undertaking. Unfortunately, to this day, nobody has really seemed to understand the gravity of the situation and how big this is and how important it is that we support Circus Zambia. Circus Zambia have done something truly, truly amazing. They have achieved the Zambian dream. By daring to dream, they have positioned themselves globally in a way that very few Zambians have. I cannot impress upon you just how big this is. And the only people right now who are not as excited as everybody else, unfortunately, are Zambians. We are doing media interviews with all of these foreign entities, and they are so excited. And yet, we are struggling here in Zambia to get everybody as excited. As a documentary filmmaker, this makes me so sad, because I pledged when I created my production company to tell positively Zambian and African stories. But right now, this story on the Zambian side is not pretty. It's a story of young people who have come from some of the most difficult circumstances and have elevated them with their skill, elevated themselves with their skills and their talents to the highest of heights. And the only thing that is holding them back is support from the Zambian people. And that is sad. That is not what this is about. Afronauts is a story about Zambian potential, Zambian excellence, people coming together. We have just had Heroes and Unity Day. And I can tell you now, Circus Zambia are heroes. And we as Zambians, we need to unite behind them in every way possible, supporting them by sharing that they're going to Edinburgh Fringe, helping them to sell tickets, helping them with their crowdfunding to ensure that they have enough money to be able to do everything they need to do in the UK. Corporates to sponsor to ensure that we document this so that we can ensure that this story is there for generations to come. Not only the story of Afronauts from 1964, but how that legacy continues today and will continue into the future. I want to tell a beautiful story of Circus Zambia going to Edinburgh Fringe and beyond and performing at the highest level. And we found out that there is this other British production that is going to happen in November. If we do not perform in August, the first time that the UK will be introduced to the Afronauts will be through a British production. And that will be very sad, because this is a Zambian story. And it is important that we have some sort of narrative sovereignty. I know that people may think, oh, it doesn't matter who tells the story. It really does. It does matter who tells the story. This is our story. We should be the ones to tell it first. We should be the one who sets the standard. And it's great that other people are interested in who we are and what we do, but there is no one who can say who we are. There is nobody who can put ourselves on the global stage in the way that we can. This stuff is serious, right? We are always talking about how we want to play in the Champions League. And yet, when we are given the opportunity We play like we're in Division 3. Boggles my mind. I will leave you with this from my first documentary about the Zambian national football team. In 1993, when the Gabon air disaster happened, President Chiluba spoke at the funeral, and he said, "Do not bury the hopes. Do not bury the aspirations." Circus Zambia have dared to dream. Dennis Liwewe said, after we won AFCON 2012, when we saw the boys do what they did, we knew we could do anything, that we can achieve anything. And Circus Zambia have shown that. So let's support them. Let's support them, and please, let us document this so that we know who we are and nobody can tell us different. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Gosu. Thank you. Now I'm going to call the British High Commission, Ms. Rebecca.
Very much. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Particular good morning to Afronauts performers, to Circus Zambia, to the wider Circus Zambia family and supporters. And big thanks to Circus Zambia and Wake the Beast and everybody who's played a part in bringing us here together this morning. So as British High Commissioner, it's my job to continually strengthen the partnership between the UK and Zambia. And I genuinely believe that one of the best ways of doing that is through cultural collaboration. Anybody who knows me well and has talked to me much knows that I'm really, really passionate about cultural collaboration. And Circus Zambia itself actually plays quite a special role in the experience of my family here in Zambia. My daughter has loved coming to your courses in the school holidays, and as a family we've been blown away by the creativity, by the talent of the Circus Zambia performances, including Afronauts, which we saw at the American International School. So you can imagine how excited I was when I heard that Circus Zambia was taking the fantastic Afronauts performance to the Edinburgh Fringe. Now, as we've heard, the story of Afronauts really captures people's attention. But what I particularly love about this production is that it takes a story which is sometimes misunderstood, right? There can be mockery around the Afronauts story. But this performance instead celebrates imagination, confidence, optimism, innovation that lies behind the Afronauts story. And I'm really, really delighted and excited that in its own way the UK will play a part, as we can see on the screen behind me, in the next chapter of the Afronauts journey. Now, Adam said that I would say a few words on the Edinburgh Fringe, so let me do that. The Edinburgh International Festival was established after World War II to help revitalise unity and the arts following the war. And it was a very prestigious, elite, invite-only event. But then a group of performers turned up uninvited, they weren't welcome, and so they decided that if they couldn't be part of the official programme, they would set up their own stage and put on their own performances in the margins. And that was the start of the Edinburgh Festival Fringe. And as we've heard, it has grown into the largest arts festival in the world and a global meeting place for creative talent. It attracts artists, audiences and cultural leaders from every continent. So hugely exciting that Circus Zambia will be taking Afronauts there. And really fitting as well that Afronauts, as we've heard, a story of dreaming big, a story of taking part, should be taken to the Fringe itself, born of a group of performers who dreamt big and took part. So the Edinburgh Fringe is an institution which has moved the stories of the periphery into centre stage. And Afronauts and Circus Zambia will be centre stage at Edinburgh. For UK audiences, not just in Edinburgh, but as we've seen in a number of cities across the UK and Ireland, this will be an opportunity to experience Zambian talent, creativity and storytelling at its best. And believe me, my friends, family, contacts, networks have all been encouraged to attend. For Zambia, it's an opportunity to showcase its cultural confidence on one of the world's most important artistic stages. And for all of us, it's another reminder of the people-to-people links, the cultural collaborations between Zambia and the UK. And I see one of the strengths of our relationship is that it is continuously being renewed by new generations of artists, students, entrepreneurs and innovators. And projects like Afronauts help tell Zambia's story to the world and also help deepen understanding between our two countries. This morning is of course also about making the tour possible, as we know, so I want to thank everyone who has already contributed and encourage others to consider how they might support the Circus Zambia story. When you invest in Afronauts, you're not just funding a tour, you're investing in young talent, in cultural exchange, in Zambia's creative industries and in the power of storytelling to connect people across borders. Edward Nkoloso may not have reached the moon, but thanks to Circus Zambia, his story is reaching audiences across Europe. And I think there's something really quite wonderful about that. So many, many congratulations to everyone involved. I wish you all every success in the UK this summer, and we'll be following you every step of the way. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, Afronauts to the moon and back. To the moon and back. Okay, thank you. Sorry, I'm just looking who's coming in the program. Yes, so actually we're going to the moon and back. And I would like to thank everybody that has contributed, supporting us, making sure that we can go. So when I say the Irish Embassy, to the moon and back. To the moon and back. The Caledonian Society, to the moon and back. To the moon and back. Heriot Watt University, to the moon and back. To the moon and back. And the Cargo 88 for hosting us this morning. To the moon and back! To the moon and back! So thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for the support. Now I'm going to call Charlotte, who is the Executive Director of Circus Zambia, to give the talk. And then I'm going to call the representative from the Permanent Secretary to close.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Everyone, we'll have a photo opportunity with Caledonian Society and Harriet Watt University with the big checks in a little bit. But before that, before we continue celebrating the people who have already supported us, I'm going to ask you to listen to me talking about how other people here can support us as well. Because we've just heard about the many institutes and organizations that have supported us, and that's really very appreciated, and we're very, very thankful for that. But there is still a shortfall. So I have my little presentation over here. I hope you can see it. So how can you support the Afronauts? Because we've been talking about all these great things we're going to do. We're going to here, there, and there. And a big chunk of the tour is being supported by ticket sales that we'll have at these venues. It's been supported by the different people that we've celebrated here. And through our fundraising activities and so on. But we're still actually short a little bit. So I'm asking here for corporate sponsorship. I'm inviting you as corporates to partner with us and to have your name connected. Yes, to have your name connected to the Afronauts Europe tour. So what we are currently short is 35,000 British pounds, Great British pounds. Now that sounds like a lot, but on the overall budget, it's not even that much, I tell you. We've done quite well so far, but we're still a little bit short. So, for us as Circus Zambia to be fully able to do all of these steps here, we need 15,000 pounds. So, yeah, if you can bring those to us, that would be nice, you know? Then we heard about from Ngosa about documenting the journey. That part still requires 20,000 pounds in support. So, all these numbers, right, I'm standing here, but of course we offer something in exchange for this as well for corporates who want to associate themselves with us as Circus Zambia with the Beast on the Europe tour. So I've written it out here. I'm going to just quickly walk through it, but I mean, you can take a photo if you're interested. You can have a look. You see here, this is us in the program of the Fringe Festival. So it's real, it's happening. We're not saying these things and then it's not happening. No, we are going, we're here, we're selling tickets, it's happening, and we're getting all of this attention. I think it hasn't been mentioned yet, so some of Ngosa shortly talked about it, but we've been doing interviews with The Guardian, which is one of the biggest newspapers in the UK. A huge newspaper is doing a whole spread about Afronauts and our tour. We've been working with The Stage, The Scotsman, many different outlets there, so we're getting a lot of media attention also on the UK side, and we're having our name out there. So you can be part of that. You can be part of that with the UK audiences, but also with the Zambian audiences. Because if you support us and the documentary making, the documentary will also be shared here in Zambia. So you can have your name associated to that. So some of the social media, some of the benefits is social media coverage that we can do for you. So we can have many coverage of your brand across our platforms from now until December 2026. We can do several posts a week. We can do branded costumes, travel outfits and gear, right? You've seen, I really love some of the artwork that we have here right now, but you can have your brand associated with that, your corporate logo. We can do an event at your corporate event that you want to do, your launch, your end of year party. We can come and do a special Afronaut showcase. We can do a team building screening of the A-Teams documentary, the documentary that Ngosa already made a huge success and very well received, so we can do a screening of that. We also, the British High Commissioner talked about her daughter joining us at Circus Zambia. If you have small kids, they can come to the camps that we do at Circus Zambia for free for 5 children. We also have a Christmas show that we do every year. It was a huge success last year. You can get 10 VIP tickets for that. We can also help you do an advert. We've been doing adverts. You might have seen us on some of the TV ads doing some circus acts in an advert. That would be fun, right? And then you will be featured and credited in the documentary. So that's what I talked about earlier. This documentary will be shown on different festivals across the world, but also for Zambian audiences here. So that's also a way to reach your target market. So this was my pitch for corporates. So please have a look, share back. If you are not a corporate but you know somebody, share it with them as well, get the word out, because there's still time for us to make it work. Now there's also people here that might not be corporate, so we also have other ways that you can help us. So I think we put on some of your tables a QR code. That's our crowdfunder. So we're running a crowdfunder. You can donate to that if you'd like. You can share it with your friends. Small amounts, big amounts, anything helps along the way. You can buy the merchandise. I was just alluding to our lovely artwork. I think you've seen it at the beginning. There's t-shirts and magnets and bags and all kinds of lovely things. If you buy those, you're supporting the running of the show. Then you can do an event, a fundraiser event, and help us. There's people that have supported and dedicated their birthday party or some of the things like that. You can spread the word, and you can buy tickets to the show. I mean, if you will be in the UK or if you know people in the UK, you can get to buy tickets to the show. So yes, or you can simply make a donation. And have a big giant check that you'll see in a little bit. So that is how you can help us. I think we heard in many different ways where it's a huge achievement we've reached so far. We just need a little extra push to reach the moon. So please spread the word and help us reach the people who wanna join us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Before I call upon Madam Susan, we have a special thank you performance for you guys. So, ladies and gentlemen, the Afronauts.
She must be at the Unique Women's right now. Don't tell her we are here. I know you're wondering why I brought you here, huh?
I didn't know you like cats.
You see, cats are amazing creatures. And they are very misunderstood. Actually, in ancient Egypt, cats were believed to be godlike, divine, and magical. And they will form a very critical role on this adventure, Mother.
How?
You see, we're going to pick two from here to accompany you, Mike.
Which two?
Wow, it has to be the most beautiful. The smartest. The boldest cats to go with you to the moon. Now, Martha, I want you to pay attention. These two cats that you're going to carry, they have two very important missions.
Okay.
When you land on the moon there, when you land, don't exit the rocket, yes. You take out one of the cats. You throw it outside. As far as possible, Martha, like that. If it explodes like you pooh. Then at that point, don't exit. It's very dangerous, huh? You find another location. You get the remaining cats. Throw it as far as possible in the dark again, like far. If it explodes again, like pooh. Now, which two are we going to get? Martha, you know, it's very strange. They never run away from me. But then we'll come back to choose again, eh? Yes. Let's see. Come, see.
Thank you so much, Afronauts. Yeah, I'm going to call upon the representative from the Permanent Secretary, Madam Susan Mona Lisa.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, I'd like to recognize the presence of the British High Commissioner. I also recognize representatives of the diplomatic community present here, industry leaders, executives of private companies that are present here. I'm highly humbled to stand before you as I'm going to read a speech on behalf of our Permanent Secretary, Mr. Kangwa Chileshe, who would have loved to be here. He's been looking forward to come and read his speech here, but due to an urgent meeting, he has not been able to make it. but is so proud of the achievements of the Circus Zambia, of this project. He's so happy that we are taking Zambia out there in the world, and he's available to offer support. And through it, I think we would love to have a meeting at the ministry so that we could discuss further on how we can, as we head towards the trip. Members of the National Arts Council Board are present here. Cooperating partners, association leaders, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is both a pleasure and an honor to join you today at this important fundraising breakfast in support of Afronauts, a uniquely Zambian artistic production that is set to showcase our nation's creativity, innovation, and cultural heritage on international stages across England, Ireland, and Netherlands. Allow me to begin by congratulating Circus Zambia for its remarkable work over the years in empowering young people through circus arts, theater, music, and creative education. Through its programs, Circus Zambia has provided countless young Zambians with opportunities to develop life skills, leadership qualities, self-confidence, and pathways to meaningful employment. This contribution to youth empowerment and talent development deserves our recognition and support. Ladies and gentlemen, the story of Afronauts is a powerful one, inspired by the vision and determination of Edward Mukukankoloso and Zambia's ambitious space program for the 1960s. The production reminds us that great achievements begin with the courage to dream. It celebrates patriotism, innovation, resilience, gender equality, and the limitless potential of young people. At a time when nations are competing not only through economic performance, but also through cultural influence and creative innovation, projects such as Afronauts demonstrates that Zambia has compelling stories to tell and talented individuals capable of sharing those stories with the world. I would also like to mention that last week we had the Kwimbo National Arts Festival, where we saw a lot of performances, and such as this one, we're really proud of the ministry and the country as a whole. As government, we recognize the growing importance of the creative and cultural industries as drivers of economic growth, job creation, social inclusion, and national identity. The creative sector provides opportunities for young people to transform their talents into sustainable livelihoods while contributing to national development. Furthermore, this initiative complements the Zambian Moves You campaign by positioning Zambia as a destination of creativity, innovation, and cultural excellence. Through this international tour and the accompanying documentary, audiences across Europe, Zambia, and the rest of the world will gain a deeper appreciation of Zambia's history, talent, and cultural richness. Ladies and gentlemen, while we celebrate the success achieved thus far in securing funding and strategic partnerships, we also recognize that additional support is required to ensure the successful participation of 10 talented Zambian performers who will represent our nation through this tour. Today's gathering therefore presents an opportunity for all of us, governments, the private sector, development partners, the diplomatic community, and individuals to invest in a project that carries immense national value and help build the creative sector. I therefore wish to appeal to our corporate partners, our stakeholders, like it was alluded to earlier on, our stakeholders present today to consider supporting this initiative generously. Your contribution, whether financial or in kind, will help ensure that these young ambassadors carry the Zambian flag with pride and distinction across international stages. The returns on such support extend far beyond this tour. They will include enhanced visibility for Zambia, stronger cultural connections with international audiences, expanded opportunities for our artists, increased recognition, increased recognition of our country as a hub of creative, as a creative hub and of innovation. Ladies and gentlemen, the story of Zambia's Afronauts has captivated imaginations for decades because it speaks to something deeply human, the desire to explore new frontiers and challenge limitations. Today, Circus Zambia is transforming that story into a contemporary artistic expression that has the potential to inspire audiences around the world. As we support this endeavor, let us remember that every great journey begins with collective effort. The success of Afronauts will be a success not only for Circus Zambia, but for our entire nation. In closing, I wish to commend the organizers, the partners, and everyone who has come on board, and all the sponsors, all those who have contributed towards making this vision a reality. I also thank all stakeholders gathered here today for your commitment to supporting Zambia's creative industries and our talented young people. So with these few remarks, allow me to say thank you to everyone present here, and we look forward to interacting further as we go towards the launch, as they go towards the tour. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I think what we do, Ms. Susan, we'll invite some people out so we can take pictures with the checks. We've been very privileged for the support that we've received from the Irish Embassy, the Caledonian Society, the what is this radio? Heriot University, for their massive support. And we've created this amazing checks. I'm gonna call my Afronauts, 2 Afronauts maybe, and then we can take some pictures in front of, and maybe the British High Commission as well. Okay, let me.
Nyimbo yako utima wangu sunisia, kama nyimbo yako tangu zonse sunisia, mtima ilowane